Hello everyone, my name is Mahmoud Istambouli. I am a certified internal auditor, and today in this demo lecture I will be talking about the definition of internal auditing. Internal auditing is an independent and objective assurance and consulting activity designed to add value and improve an organization's operations. It helps an organization accomplish its objective by bringing a systematic, disciplined approach to evaluate and improve the effectiveness of governance, risk management, and control processes. In this definition, we mention independent, objective, assurance, consulting, systematic, disciplined approach, improve, evaluate. We will talk about each and every word in details so that this definition can be fully understood, because this definition is international definition for the internal auditing. It's applicable everywhere and to all industries. We said independent. What do we mean by independent? For the internal audit department to be independent, it should report to the highest level or the highest authority in our organization. What is the highest authority in the organization? It's the board of directors. Sometimes the board of directors nominate a committee which is responsible to look after the internal audit department activities, right? So the internal audit department can report to the audit committee which is nominated from the board, or the internal audit department can report directly to the board of directors. We mentioned again objective. What do we mean by objective? The internal audit department should not take sides. The internal auditor should not be biased, right? He should always state the facts as they are, so that anyone who is reading the internal audit report will be able to understand what really happened and what are the risks that are mentioned in the internal audit report. So we talked about two things, independent and objective. Now we will move to talk about two main assignments that the internal auditor performs: assurance and consulting. Assurance engagement, what I'm assuring? I'm assuring that the policies and procedures are going as planned. They are effective, they are efficient, and they are helping the organization to reach its objective. Consulting. In consulting engagement, I'm giving an advice. Why the internal auditor provide a consulting engagement? Because he is knowledgeable, he is ethical, and he has the know-how, and he has what it takes to perform a consulting activity. He has access to all the organization. He knows how things can be done in a very efficient and effective way. So he, in a way or another, he is able to give an advice to the organization. The internal audit department adds value and improve an organization's operations. How does it add value and improve an organization's operations? We add value when we perform assurance engagements, consulting engagements. In these engagements, we have to issue a report. To whom? As we said earlier, to the audit committee or the board of directors. Perfect. In these reports, we have recommendations. Recommendations to tackle the risks that we find in the while we were performing the assignment, right? So these recommendations help to improve the operations. Let's say we have policies and procedures. Very good, perfect thing. If these policies and procedures are not being applied, it means that we are doing nothing. The organization is doing nothing. They invested a lot of money in writing down the policies and procedures, in documenting policies and procedures, but they are not being applied. So how can the internal auditor improve this thing? By giving a recommendation that the policies and procedures should be applied. Why? Because it gives a standard that each and every employee can follow in performing his job. So the recommendations are the ways that the internal auditor can help the organization improve its operations. It helps an organization accomplish its objective in a systematic and disciplined approach. The internal auditors, the internal audit department and the internal auditors move in steps. They are organized, well structured. We have steps. Step 1, we finish step 1, we move to step 2, step 3. We have the audit plan that we should stick to it. Then we have the audit program, that we have the audit checklist. So we move in steps, in systems, and in disciplined approach. We evaluate the practices that are being performed, the policies and procedures, and we improve the effectiveness by, as I said earlier, by giving recommendations, right, for governance, risk management, and control process. Just keep in mind, when we say risk management, we have to always say control, because the risk and control, they like go together, they go hand in hand. Now, I will talk a little bit about the audit committee, which I already mentioned before. The board of directors has to nominate an audit committee to be able to look after the activities of the internal audit department. Perfect. The audit committee should have at least one member who is financially literate. What do you mean by financially literate? He is able to read financial statements, to understand them, to do certain analysis, and in turn, this audit committee, which was nominated by the board of directors to look after the work of the internal audit department, will have to report the board of directors about how well the internal audit department is performing and how well it's doing its job during the year, and how well it's sticking to its plan, and how well this plan is helping the organization in achieving its objective. Just keep in mind these key terms that we already explained in this definition. Independent, which means that we have to report the highest, the highest body in the organization. Objective, which means we should not be biased or take sides, and state facts as they are. We add value. How do we add value? By performing assurance and consulting engagements, which will help the organization in reaching its objective through the recommendations that we provide. I hope in this demo lecture I helped you understand the definition of the internal auditing, and hope to see you soon.